Well, hello everyone. Um, what we intend to do in the next few videos is go over section 2.6, transformations of functions. I'm going to break this lesson into four um, smaller videos. That will make it a little bit easier for you when you're watching the video. If you only need to go to a certain topic, then you can actually just go to the specific video that goes on and deals with that rather than having to watch the entire video and then try and jump to the place if you can't quite remember where it was. So the four main themes in transformation of functions are, as you can see in this list here. And the first one I'm going to do is introduction to the common graphs as functions. So we're going to look at what does a function like x squared, x cubed, square root of x look like. And we'll do a little bit about them. And that will be the first video. I'll then make a second video where I'll actually go over the 8 standard transformations of function. In fact, there are actually 10, but the 8 major ones are the ones that we're going to deal with in that video. In the third topic, we're going to look at combining transformations. So instead of just having a single transformation, like taking a graph and maybe reflecting it in the x-axis, we're actually going to do 2 transformations. So maybe you'll move the graph up to and then reflect it in the x-axis. And then the final video will be on odd and even functions. And what do they look like? What are their properties? And can you tell by looking at the expression for a function whether it is odd, even, or neither? So let's jump straight into our first one. Number 1, the introduction to the common graphs of functions. So what we're going to look at here are all the different major functions that we're going to deal with. So start off with a very common one, quadratic function. Just like a big happy face. There you go. That's pretty much what x squared looks like. Now, if you look at my next one, it's going to be this guy, which starts at the origin, curves kind of like that. Now that, in fact, is the square root function. Another standard function is simply a function that looks something like this. And that's cubic function. And it's another function that looks a bit like this. I wonder if you can guess, based on the other functions, what this one is. And if you guessed or assumed that it was a cube root of x, you were correct. This one's quite interesting. Basically, 2 straight lines pointing opposite directions. And this is the absolute value function. And this one here is the reciprocal function. Of course, there's many other functions, but this is a good kind of introduction to the most common ones you're likely to see. For instance, y equals x squared looks like that. But in fact, if you do y equals x to the 4 or y equals to x to the 6, it has a very similar shape. It's just that y equals x to the 4 goes higher quicker. So it's a bit like a crushed in, stretched version of x squared. And I think that is pretty much it as far as the standard types of functions that we are going to be doing transformations to. So you have a kind of, in this process, what you have essentially is a building block function, right? A standard one of these guys. And then you change it in some way. We'll call it a transformation. And we will be able to identify by the way that this new function is described, what type of transformation it is likely to be. So that is us finished.